Hi and welcome back. In this episode we will look at a new feature that Zoom introduced, whiteboards. I always thought that Miro and Mural would integrate video calling tools inside themselves, but it turns out that Zoom has integrated a whiteboard inside itself. In this video I will explore those new features and I will simulate a participant joining your call to see what they will see. I will test joining a Zoom whiteboard from your phone, from your iPad, and you will find the timestamps of all this section in the video description, so you can jump to the section that is most interesting to you. I haven't really checked any of these features yet, so I will be diving into them with you through this video. And hopefully I won't run out of oxygen. After you log in into your Zoom account, you see this whiteboard, new. And oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff in here. Infinite possibilities. Wow, infinite canvas. This looks really powerful. I zoomed out at 50%, I zoomed in at 700%. Well, let's see what... Ooh, I just pressed the N button on my keyboard and look, like in Miro, I get a new post-it. So this seems pretty basic, which is good. There's no fancy other things but picking the color. Like it. Then there's like a little drawing tool. I will test this later on my iPad and see if this has a good, well, what kind of pencil support this has. But oh my gosh, this in the first 20 seconds looks pretty powerful. Alrighty. So you can, it looks like you can set the background of your shapes, you can set it to transparent. Oh my gosh, how long have they been working on this in stealth mode? Okay, so I'm just gonna continue a little bit into, I could continue into this, or you know what, I'm gonna try and see if I run my Zoom, if I open a Zoom meeting. If you open your Zoom app and you look for your whiteboard without updating to the latest version, you will only find the old whiteboard functionality, which is a lot less cool than the new one. During this initial test, I was unaware that I was running an old version of my Zoom app. In fact, the prompt to update didn't show up. I'll show that later during this video. And so I went on a wild goose chase looking for something inside the admin configuration to enable whiteboards. But it turns out that you don't need to do anything. This is where I manually checked for an update and saw that little message that I was referring earlier. Usually that just shows up in my experience. But anyways, 5.10.3 4851 is the version that I'm updating my client to. After the update to 5.10.3, you'll actually see menus advertising whiteboards. And you can access your whiteboards directly from the app rather than from the web interface. So this is basically the same stuff that we saw earlier, so I'm gonna spare those menus with you. And what I'm really interested in, so this looks like the same board we had earlier. Maybe a web view. Regardless, doesn't matter. Now what I'm interested in is starting a call and seeing what happens inside. Oh, you just missed it, but there was like a little message saying, hey, there's whiteboards. And in fact, we have it here. And by the way, I didn't have to enable anything on my admin account, which that is pretty great. I just had to upgrade this client. If you remember when I tested the Zoom apps, there was like something that had to be enabled and all sorts of things that had to happen. So open and collaborate. So I can do that. And now you're collaborating in this whiteboard. So what I want to test next is to call some people in. But because I'm a sad facilitator that doesn't have any friends. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start a virtual machine instead. And because I'm a sad facilitator that is running Windows, I'm gonna use Windows Hyper-V virtualization. You know what, let's just cancel this. Let's do an initial test, which is joining that call without the correct upgrade, so that we can kind of see what happens. We are seeing this audio prompt because my virtual machine doesn't have audio. Let's ignore that. But the point here is, an app without the correct update will only see the whiteboard. They will not have the little whiteboard icon, and they will not be able to interact with the whiteboard. Alrighty, so the update is done. It's actually installing it. But so far the experience is pretty straightforward. It's just like I'm pretty amazed by the whiteboard things that I've seen so far in the first few seconds that I tested out. I'm gonna now join with a second user to see what that experience is like. Alright, so this is the guest introducing Zoom whiteboards. This is the little message that we see at the beginning: has been successfully updated. At the beginning of this whole endeavor, you can create and collaborate. But you know what? Let's join the call that I still have open, and we're gonna see the same messages we saw earlier about computer audio. We're gonna ignore all that, and I continue. And here we are introducing Zoom whiteboards. I'm gonna move this into a full screen as well. And we see this little, that's the message that I was telling you about earlier, and oh my god, we are already collaborating. Okay, that is good stuff. N creates a new, that's hello world in Italian, in case you're wondering. So N works as a shortcut, and now I can move other people's stuff, it looks like. So the first question that pops into my head is, do they have locking? Sometime that, I don't know, for some reason that's what I'm thinking about, but maybe let's stop for a minute and just look at what else we have here. There's a concept of pages, which is pretty interesting. I remember, so in here we have like zooming out. They claim this is an infinite canvas. That is pretty good. It can be useful. It can also kind of backfire. Let's see. Small stuff. So can I just like decrease the size? Yeah, and interesting. So there it becomes dot dot dot. I don't think. Yeah, I don't remember seeing like a text font size. So we kind of like miss that text functionality. We can run on control wheel, mouse wheel in, control mouse wheel out. We can group, I assume. Yeah, so that is good. I assume that we can ungroup stuff. I didn't see any information about who added stuff, so there's no info, stuff like that, which I think it's okay. I mean, considering this is probably just like a first iteration that they've built on a hackathon on the weekend, I assume. Lines, okay, nice. By the way, so let's do something where I'm gonna try and place this side by side with my actual video screen. So this is my other client. So if I go in and move stuff, I assume that moves pretty quickly. I don't see the cursor of who's adding stuff. I wonder if that's something that export. No, you cannot enable that. I mean, I'm comparing this with a full-fledged digital whiteboard, but this is really cool. I am really excited about this. And then if you add a page here, create up to 12 pages, so you can go to another page and what can we do? Can we rename this stuff. Hello world. This is like page 2, or is this just the name of the whole? No, this is just the name of the whole. But this is good because you can send people, hey, go to page 2, go to page 3. Okay, scrolls down. I'm not in love with that, but this is great. This is really great, and I'm wondering if when you send people into breakouts, if and how those could be used. You could just send people to do work in a different page, so you don't have that concept of frames. So oftentimes in Miro and Mural we have frames, we have boxes that outlines, I think they are in Miro, that kind of like direct people where to work. And in this instance we can just use this other concept. I really like it. So one of the things that we didn't really check in is the image. It doesn't look like it has a Google search of images, but you can pick an image from your file system and kind of like make it appear. I wonder if we do a Google search like sunrise and we do a copy paste, if that would work as well. So if I copy this image, can I just paste it in? Yeah, it looks like it does. So this is covering that kind of like realm. One thing that what is this one? Oh, this is probably about like putting it above or beyond, I imagine. Send to the back. Yeah, so you can do this kind of stuff. Cool. Again, this is very exciting stuff. I'm excited to try with a group, with an audience. I think we kind of covered all the other elements in here. One thing that I want to try is to copy this link and to open it. So I am logged in, but it doesn't seem like I can access that just like this. Yeah, I'm wondering about that. I'm not too sure. I suspect it has to do with anyone can view. So I guess this is one of the downside of this link not working. Once you're done with a meeting, it seems like if you're outside of the organization, it might not be possible to get in there. At least that's what I'm seeing. So if I go back to my virtual machine, okay, just the usual. Let's continue with our audio. So I see the whiteboards. In fact, actually, so if I click whiteboards, I'm gonna be prompted with my whiteboards or that account whiteboard. Instead, if the and that actually can be started by everyone. I think is one of the settings that I have. So right now I just have my my setting, my whiteboard being shared. Mine being Jared. So Jared's, let's just use that. Jared's whiteboard is being shared. If the host decides, I'm pretty sure you can. So you're co-editing Jared's whiteboard. You see there is that message up there. You can stop participants sharing this because I'm a host. Pretty sure that a participant cannot. Well, actually, let's try it out. If I go into the virtual machine, which is here, you see I cannot stop the host's whiteboard. Yeah, this bit where allow attendees to access after the meeting doesn't seem to be working. I'm gonna keep checking on this. It sounds like a bug to me, but who knows? Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm missing something. Regardless of if this is a bug or not, I feel this is pretty powerful. I'm very excited about what's gonna happen next with this feature integrated into Zoom. And so what I'm gonna try is I'm just gonna test out switching the call to my iPad, and testing out is gonna be testing out how much the whiteboard works on an iPad. So in here on the list of things, I see whiteboards, and there you go. Here's our whiteboard. I click on that. All participants can edit. I get like quite a few options here to control who can and can't edit. and oh my gosh, the pencil works pretty good. So I'm just like zooming out, I'm selecting the I'm trying to select the image. Doesn't look super easy. Oh, you know why? Because I have the pens still selected. But there you go, I'm just like tapping it and it seems to be allowing me to... I'm trying to move that content once I tap it. I tapped it and okay, cool. Yeah, I can just drag it around. I'm dragging it with my fingers. But yeah, it looks like this is working just fine. And if I open up in my virtual machine here, my iPad, where I'm just gonna focus on the boat and I'm gonna put another boat next to it. Bloop. Oh, let me just take this out so that you can see it in real time. But yeah, I mean, pencil support pretty good. Let's see what else I can do. I have this other element here that I can add maybe a little bit of a shade if I need. There's different levels of this. Nothing groundbreaking, but I think the groundbreaking bit is that this is completely integrated inside Zoom. So kudos on them for taking this step. I'm really excited. Let's see, can I type in here? How do I type? I bet the keyboard will show up. Yeah, really excited. And since we're here, people might wonder, what about my phone? I'm joining the call with my phone. So, I have no idea. Let's test it out. Luckily, I have Zoom on my phone. And so what I see is the switch button. So I'm gonna now switch from the iPad. So the iPad, I imagine will just log off. This is my Zoom app. And in here, I'm still the host. Jared is still my guest. In here, if I scroll down, I see Whiteboard. I click on Whiteboard and oh my god, looks like I can get to it. So all participants can edit and then I'm gonna share it. Again, it looks like when I do the switch, the guest is kind of like losing the Whiteboard for a moment. I'm gonna test that in a moment, but looks like you can only view... Oh, I saw that message and it just went away so fast. It looks like you can only view whiteboards on mobile. So that answers it. I think that makes kind of sense. It really would be like a shitty experience to try and manipulate whiteboards on the mobile. I've had participants to some of my community events that I run for IAF and Agile Alliance, joining with their phones, and it's just like trying to send them like a mural or Miro. It's just it's really dreadful. So in a way, I like that they only have viewing from mobile. Another test that kind of like popped into my head just now is if I'm switching from if I'm on my PC, all right, and I have to leave for whatever reason. But the whiteboard is here. So say that we have a whiteboard, all attendee can access, blah blah blah, open. Say that, I don't know, I need to log off. Will participants still be able to collaborate? I have a feeling that the answer is no, but I wanna validate this assumption. So this is my screen. I'm getting a little bit confused because I have so many open. But this is a virtual machine. You can kind of tell because the bar is the gray bar. It's using Windows 11. So what I wanted to test is if Enrico logs out. So if in here I kind of like close my Zoom and leave meeting, and I leave Gerald Kernel as the kind of like owner, the host. Yeah, as I assumed, Jared doesn't have the whiteboard because that was shared with him, so he won't be able to kind of start and continue that. Just something to know, just a gotcha that is good to test out before we are in front of an audience. Yeah, so you can open and collaborate on your own whiteboard, but you won't have the one that we were just working now. The other thing that you could potentially do is to log in from a browser, I'm pretty sure. At least I think. Oh no, that's the one that was erroring out. So yeah, it kinda sucks, because once you are done, once the host is done, that board is kind of like not really. It seems to be a bug. It seems not to be accessible. So yeah, just something to keep an eye on. Maybe they'll fix it. So what are your thoughts about the Zoom whiteboards? What have you learned from this deep dive? Is it time to throw away Miro and Mural? Well, probably not, but I see a lot of the stuff that is done in Jamboard now is possibly handled by the Zoom whiteboard, and it's integrated inside the video calling system, which is fantastic. It's one less thing, one less moving part. I will probably still use Miro and Mural for long-term sessions, things that need to be more structured, for elements that need to be locked, and larger groups. But for 5-6 people, maybe even more, I'll definitely give Zoom whiteboards a try. But what do you think? Are you gonna throw away Miro and Mural? What have you learned from this video? How are you gonna use it? Leave a comment and leave a thumbs up if you think that this was useful, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next deep dive. Ciao. Ah shit, that doesn't really work, does it?